Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party, and my buddy Rhett. Here we go, Rhett. She loves those nuts. So, anyways, it is Friday, January 2nd, the second day of the new year. And yesterday in this video, it was like a 2.5 hour long video, and I finally got the bug straightened out. And the bug was that when you go to add, and let's close that down, do this, update, and when we do our resize, the it wouldn't resize appropriately. So it wasn't going to be like an exact square. It was kind of difficult to perceive, but so I added this text here. Now what I realized is that what am I trying to say? What I realized is that this is actually the very beginnings of the update part of the CRUD. So we have create. You can create one. We have read because you can see it, and then we have delete. But delete's got lots and lots of bugs and things that we need to do for it. And now we have our update because we are updating the aspect ratio. And so we started to kind of develop a few patterns in there, and it will probably all of that will probably need um, a lot more refactoring as that comes in. But we do have a few bugs, and one of them was this aspect ratio issue, which we found out about only because of end-to-end testing. So let me go ahead and let's go ahead and launch Cypress so we can, because I just want to make sure that we didn't break anything major. I've really gotten to where I'm a big fan of Cypress. Um, and I've gotten so far, like, so, let's see, it's like npm run Cypress open. I think that's it. I feel like I'm missing a whole something. Um, no, that's right. So I actually have got to the point where I'm like, I have not developed a feature has not officially been developed until it's tested in Cypress. And so I've gotten very, very serious about it. I've taken it very seriously. I do think that is the answer for the next sort of level up in software development would be um, in not software development, but like in web development would be like end-to-end testing. We could get our applications could get a lot bigger if every time you could always validate that you haven't broken in as the features get added. You can validate that uh, doing something, fixing something doesn't break something else. Um, there's just only so much of a limit that the human mind can figure out. And what I'm saying is like let's say you have like a feature that reads something and something else that writes something and something else that uploads something and downloads something, right? And how do you, if you have code, how do you make sure that when you made a change to upload, you didn't accidentally break something in download? Um, and I think the end-to-end testing is the answer, or it's the best answer I've seen so far, anyways. I like how it has the name of your branch right there. And it is kind of funny how it ended up being exactly what I said, but while I was working on it, I was like, I completely misread this. Although the one thing I had in mind was that I had a, um I forgot what I was gonna say again. Man, I'm tired this morning. All right. Really, the resize. I probably should just go straight to resize. Yeah, let's just roll through them so we make sure. first one is always so long. But I would say yesterday's, I have to do something like that professionally, like how yesterday I just sort of had to just grind out and step through and try figuring things out from all different directions, and finally and enough came together. I have to do that probably 3 or 4 times a year, and it's almost always on someone else's code. Like they're so close to being done, and we have to figure out why their stuff doesn't working isn't working. And it's just like, what? Where's the little broken needle in the thing? The stack of needles. There's just like it's crazy. Um, but And 9 times out of 10, when I do have to get into some like really deep thing like that with somebody, it's because there was just like a basic misunderstanding. I think this is the one where, yeah, it was breaking. Okay, why? Ah, so I think so. This one's end-to-end testing is failing because we introduced a new bug which doesn't actually check that, and now like I was like, did it ever do it? I don't know. Well, now we know because we caught it here. But as you can see, it is nice and square. So this is kind of cool. So yeah, I'm gonna need to fix that as part of this effort. Um, flow. I don't know exactly how big that's going to be. So I want to do like a code commit, unit test commit, Cypress commit back to and back, so because I just don't want like I feel really good about the code other than that one resize issue. And I'm glad it's in a different branch. So now, like, let's say I start going down that resize. It's not really a rabbit hole. It is kind of a rabbit hole, but it isn't. Um, Once I start going down that, I will. Okay. So, yep. So we found one broken thing. So that's pretty awesome. All right. So I'm going to do this as a code commit. We kill this. We do not want to put, I don't want to, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it would be better not to push this. Okay, so we're getting ready to do a code commit, so I do want to go through and remove like all those comments and stuff that we left. Okay. I can never quite put my finger on whether it's easier to work in this view. In some ways it really is. Okay, that's new. I think we need that console. I mean that viewport height and width. I'm pretty sure we're using that a lot. And then, oh, man, I'm just gonna stink to have to rebuild all this if I have to, like if bugs start coming back again. But okay, so I think that comment is misplaced now. I don't know. I think that is a comment that I put throughout all of these. Here's a console log I want to get rid of. Hmm, what is this? Yes, there used to be a space there, maybe. There we go. But oh yeah, so yeah, yesterday's session is probably the most difficult thing that as a software developer, from a coding perspective, that you kind of have to do. Okay, I did not save that. That's always gets me on when I'm editing in there. Okay, so let's just make sure because I don't want to break things at this stage. Okay, so I kind of like this thing sort of right at the top having like a comment that says, "Hey, this is what triggers this effect." I think that's important. I was just like thinking about how this in this um the bounce thing, I have this key and I just know that if I worked in a place this key here that we would definitely have colliding keys. Um, so what I mean by that, let me just, it's too hard to see. What I mean by that is like somebody else might just copy and paste this whole thing and then these debounce things would jump on each other. And then I was kind of thinking like how a lot of places I've worked, they make you like kind of keep track of some IDs like that or something like that in some document or something like um, and how that like may sometimes the documents inside the application, sometimes it's like outside. Maybe it's like, oh, there's a Word document somewhere that everybody, if you're going to use a key, you have to put the name of the key in there or something. But how many weird documents like that I've had to maintain over the years, and how they've just been like just loads and loads of Git conflicts in those things. All right. And then Viz service. Well, we definitely don't need that. Oh, guess I needed that. Okay. Here's another console log. I'm pretty sure we needed that one. And that's probably going to need to be called. Maybe not for unit tests. Let's go back over here again. All right. Now, get status, get add don't, get status, get commit, issue 10. I guess I always like to put the video number in here. Let's see, what video is this going to be? 353. So I guess yesterday was, yeah, exactly 352 videos. And code. Updates the AR. Based on, what is it? Viz height and width. And we do not want to push this because we may want to get out of there. Oh, dash M. Forgot my dash N and my commit. Until we push it, it's going to be super trivial just to roll back out of this commit if we want. It says I have two. Oh, yeah, it says I have two. All right, changes in my history. Okay, so it's only 8:30, so let's go npm run test. So first, we're hoping that none of the tests break. Second, we're hoping that uh, that they all pass. And then third, we're hoping to have 100% test coverage. If I remember correctly, in one of the effects, I have like a branching situation that would probably be very difficult to unit test. So I'll probably have to actually do some recoding around that. It always takes forever for these tests to run. I feel like I always have to mention too that these are Karma Jasmine tests. So I know the latest version of Angular, they moved away from Karma Jasmine as the default to Vite as the default. I've worked a little bit with Vite now, just a little, just barely scratching the surface, and it's fine. It seems to be pretty good. Okay, so they did not all compile. So hold the control button down over here, and if I remember correctly, yeah, this should be like viewer. Yeah, viewer view. Okay, and let's see, save. I don't think it will It looks like that was the only thing that was upset about. Yeah, and for some reason that's when you save it, when it failed on the compile and then you save a change to a test, it doesn't seem to relaunch. And that's just such a hugely chained together set of technologies. I wouldn't even be able to vaguely cast blame on any piece of it, what might be common. So now it all compiles. So that was step one. Step two would be, do they all pass? And step three is, what is our coverage? Oh, nope, they do not all pass. Looks like we have three failed ones. Wow. Interesting. Okay, so this might actually fix the end-to-end test too, because these seem to be around the dimensions. Okay, so this is, I always have such a hard time. So this is add update layout component. What happens if I click on that? No, cancel. Actually, I'm curious. And now, okay, what happens? Leave. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that's. Oh, I guess it gave me a little bit more information. I don't know. I think this is going to be tricky. Okay, so we're going to app layout at update layout component. And we are failing on, well, I guess this is how I should do it. On line 95. And it is actually, this is where what is failing right here. Wrong one. Control P in that. There we go. I just did a search on the. All right. so it's saying that on line, which line? 141, it's upset. And that's because this called update visualization size. Okay, so it's saying it called that and it cannot read on line 95. So it's saying in here that I sort of forced this, even though there is no viewer view at this point. Apparently. I remember it. So that is, oh, remember we changed that from viewer view to element view. Okay, let's hit back here. Okay, so yeah, I think I need to just change this to viewer view. View. And it's just because we renamed editor view to viewer view, and then we did a mock and we faked it that it exists here, but we didn't. So the transpiler couldn't really catch that we um, had a mistake there. I think that's my take on it all. Anyways, let's see. Okay, so now we only have two, so that did fix that one. All right, so looks like it's in here. I think that's exactly where we're at right now, right? But line 120 instead. Line 120. Same issue? I don't know for sure. Like I haven't delved deep enough, but I'm just gonna take a stab in the dark that this is the problem. I wonder if I have another one. Yep, that's probably the other bug. So that was not nearly as dicey as I thought it was going to be. Oh, we still have one failing. This is a new one, I think. Okay, line 86. Expected 0 to be greater than 1. So this is actually a failed test. And this actually may be the actual problem. Component viewer height to be greater than 1. Hmm. All right, so I think we can type in the letter F right here, and it'll only test this one test for us. I think I might have to restart it to get it to do that. Okay, yes, it's only testing the one test, which is a lot faster. And now we'll have to start breaking it down. 839. Line 86, we want it. This is the line right here. And basically, we're trying to figure out like, okay, so expected 0, so it's 0. And I think my whole thing was to try to get 100% coverage. So component viewer height. Oh, maybe there's something in here. Hmm. A0 native, and then after complete false, and then it's kind of weird. I don't know what this is doing. Okay, so component should process the visualization. And so I think I was just trying to get something covered in here. I don't know. I don't know why I thought. I honestly, I think I only did this so I could get 100% coverage. So I don't really think expected 0. I'm just going to say 2 equals 0 and see where that gets us to be 2 equal 0. I don't know if that's the right answer. Probably not. But it's sort of like I'm hoping that if I do this, then like some other part, like the 100% coverage part, will come out. Okay, so now that's passing. Let's get rid of the F in front of here. And I'm a little upset with myself because I should have, in that one effect where I have the branches, well, I'm hoping that that gets itself worked out here. Okay, so where are we at here on test coverage? So everything's passing, and we have, so yeah, we have one branch that's not tested, 2 functions that are completely untested, 5 lines of code that are untested. So, and it's like not really tested. That's not really a good way of putting it. It's that are uncovered would be a better phrase because they aren't necessarily tested. So coverage, and I'm looking for index, and I'm going to drag that over here. I'm wondering, okay, statements, other way. So it looks like it was just this one. Because I don't see anything less than 100 anywhere else. So, all right. Oh, and we have 2 things in Viz. One is this dude. So, you know what? I'm just going to drag that over here. So we got 3 lines here, 2 lines there, 1 branch here. I think this is the branch that was wanted to give extra attention to anyways. And then service. So it might have paid off for me as I'd hoped. Yeah, see, this. I want this probably just get called always, and then in there it does this stuff. So that's the first thing I want to do. All right. Yeah, that is good for today. We'll get this unit test. We'll get this recoded. Basically, what I want to do tomorrow is this: when this effect runs, I want it to always run a function, and that is the functions over branches philosophy for that I like to apply to help make it easier to get unit test coverage. So basically, if there's a function and then inside of that function I pass in um, like this component initialized, if I just pass that in as an argument, then it'll be a lot easier to then just call it um, with true and then with false, and then unit testing. then unit testing is just it makes a lot more sense. It's a lot more, and by saying it's just more sane. Like it's easier to read about and understand what's going on. But anyways, happy coding, everybody. Have a wonderful Friday. Bye.